Hello, everyone, and welcome to VYTALCast. I'm your host, David, and here we got Inspector Who, and we got some Genlock to talk about, a little bit of fandom stuff, but we'll try to keep stuff pure and short, I guess, on that part. But
Yeah.
because there's a lot I want to say personally, but I want to save it for a better time, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't want to say something on a live stream and regret
Have
what I
that.
said. Yeah, and then it's just out there. I'm like, at least if I make a video, I could edit out what I said instead of keeping it in. So, hello, chat. How are you?
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, there's Hannah Ray, Verif, Maria, Emma, and Hannah. Wait, I said Hannah twice. Oh, and Hannah's saying hello specifically to you. Wait, are you watching the stream as well, or
Yeah, I'm
do you have
about
the
to chat on.
I'm like, I forgot to send you the link. That I keep forgetting to send the host the link.
Yeah, I'm your mod.
Oh, I forget. uh, I forgot Sunny is still a mod until she was watching my reaction video with me yesterday. Um, it was like, oh, hey, you're still a mod. That's cool. I mean, I trust her with still being a mod, so that's why she still is.
We just started.
Yeah. Hey, Portal, how you doing? Do you want to go to the Callous Brotherhood? Didn't you ask me that?
Oh,
do you know what that is?
no, but I remember that.
Yeah, I remember that question. Hold on, I'm googling it. Why was there a? Why am I? I'm getting a bunch of Pokemon references, but I'm also getting some Orthodox Church references on Google.
Okay.
Someone trying to be a missionary. Okay, John Ronald said, "Howdy, y'all. Are there going to be spoilers for Genlock episode 3? I've only seen episodes 1 and 2. Well,
Yep. Unfortunately.
Yeah, there will be.
Probably watch that.
However, on VYTALCast we haven't actually talked a whole lot about Genlock yet, so
Yeah.
we could actually start with.
We can start at 1.
We could start at 1. 1 did not have as much in it as I thought it would have.
Okay. I'm not gonna lie. Genlock hasn't the first episode didn't grab me.
I would say it's enough to sorta pique your interest or entertain you, but it doesn't really hook. If that makes sense. I mean, you could kind of say how it ended is a hook. Because Chase is suddenly in the room and people are like, wait,
alive.
What the? Yeah. But I like robots. I like nanotech. I like future stuff. So it's like, hey, I'm gonna keep watching this because I trust Rooster Teeth and I trust Gray to make a good show. And
yeah,
would you say episode 2 was better for that?
Oh yeah, definitely. That was the one I was thinking. Okay, I'm on board.
Yeah, I think episode 2 was definitely the I'm on board episode, and then episode 3 just nailed it. I just barely watched it an hour ago for the first time, and I'm like, dang, this is really entertaining. I love some of the chemistry that the pilots have in it, but we'll reel it back to episode 2.
What was your favorite part of episode 1?
I like his family dynamic going on. With his sister and his mom, and how that was not only a nice subtle way to have start to kind of care about Chase and his life, but it was also a nice subtle way to kind of see how the future is and society is with them having the contact lenses and the TV and his sister being a streamer and stuff. It was pretty interesting to see all of that in a short amount of time. NYPD got effed up by the Union. That's true.
I think I did record a reaction, but I haven't got it's blocked, and I still haven't figured out how to get that all dealt with.
Did you do it at dispute?
No, I haven't done Dispute, but I know about the email idea, or that works
Yeah.
too. I haven't
Um,
figured out how to do that yet.
the disputes
But
work a lot faster because it's basically a more direct way than the email. And I think Rooster Teeth even said like a few months ago when it came to case with Ruby, they said, "Hey, do your disputes because they're easier to find through that system. But if for whatever reason your dispute is taking a long time, email us and like provide a link, and then like they'll try to sort it all out." Because I think
yeah, but in like I think the highlight of that first episode for me was when the doctor showed up and he did his little line.
yeah, dude, and I like how like Gray had to go out on Twitter and be like, "Hey, that line was prepared long before David Tennant was ever casted." Like,
like it's like it was meant to be.
It was meant to be, and uh, dude, David Tennant is like the perfect voice for that role, though. Either that, or like once they got that role, they slightly tweaked it to fit David Tennant a bit more. But oh man, I just love the cast. Like we got David Tennant. Man, my brain spaced for a second. We got David
Michael
Tennant,
B. Jordan, Dakota Fanning, Maisie Williams.
I need to look up his name again.
Yeah.
The original voice of Spike.
The Japanese voice of Spike.
Yeah.
I'll have to. I'm gonna learn these names as the show goes.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. That moment you accidentally typing. Did I type in Spike Lee? I meant Spike Spiegel. No, wait. Ah, crap. Apparently he was based off an actor. No, hold on. Boom. David can use Google. Why are two different names pulling up for him in the Japanese version? Oh no. Hold on. Spike Spiegel, Wikipedia. Let's see. In Cowboy Bebop, voiced by. Is it gonna say who voiced him? Please.
I mean,
I don't know.
You could go to Jinlock's cast.
True. Oh yeah, Genlock cast. See, you're a lot smarter than I am when it comes to this. Okay, Koichi Yamadera. I totally forgot about. Yeah, it was. I think I might have totally mispronounced that. Oh, thank you, Verif. And
his character's. His character is. What's his character's name? Like
Kazu.
Kazu.
Yeah. Maisie Williams' character keeps calling him Kazu, but it's pronounced Kazu. So,
I feel like I've heard that. Like it was either in Persona or an anime or something. I've heard that.
Kazu, or I don't know.
Oh, I'm thinking My Hero Academia.
Oh really? Which person?
Like for Kachan, I keep hearing that.
Oh, Kachan. Yeah, let's see.
But yeah. And
wait. Oh, thank you, Reaches Beast. Can't think of a witty message. Just take my money. Dude, you've been consistently giving me money, so I really appreciate that. And I just realized I forgot to update the alert box with my face that people memed. Did you?
Oh yeah.
Did you? Yeah. If you're in my Discord, you've probably seen the meme. And also, like, I do want to make a video of people just using that picture of my face for memes. And I got 2 submissions so far. So if you want to make more, have at it. Anyway, what were you saying?
I was saying it was
you were talking about My Hero Academia for a second.
Well, I was relating to My Hero Academia, and then the Genlock cast. The next one of the ladies.
Are you talking about Valentina or?
Valentina.
Okay.
And
there's Yaz. And where's
Yaz.
Williams and Cammy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Also,
so many new characters to learn.
There are, and oh crap. Hey, someone in the chat really help me out because I'm struggling with the internet today apparently. Uh, but somewhere it was confirmed. I think it might have been on the Rooster Teeth site, but it might be. I think it was Valentina that was confirmed as like non-binary and uses they them pronouns. If someone wants to confirm which character it is, I think it's Valentina. About that too. Yeah, I saw a screenshot, but I didn't save it, and it was like a week ago for episode 3. Yeah, at any rate, David can't do internet. Dude, my brain is fried from the amount of stress I've gone through this week, and I think I'm really feeling repercussions today. So, yeah. But let's see. Oh yeah, Haru. I saw Haru in the chat, or Ashukosu. I believe she's seen the first 2 episodes, so she could probably like give some input too. But anyway, who's your favorite pilot so far?
Oh, well, everyone likes Cammy.
Everyone does like Cammy.
But I'm kind of looking forward to Katsu, like him.
Yeah, I really like him as well. Like, he has more of a gritty personality and a lot of sass to him.
Yeah. Like, Chase is fun though.
Yeah, Chase is fun. You know, I really love his eyes. I noticed that in episode 3. The blue they use is really good.
Oh yeah.
Like, they really pop out, and it's like so
yeah.
Green and blue are my 2 favorite colors, and it's like one of my favorite shades of blue, and I'm like, oof. I really like that blue. Quay said the pilot guy from Ruby Volume 5. Thanks.
Yeah, there was I was gonna say, like, in the first episode, I will admit, like, it's one of those things where it's like I see all the like the future and all the technology. I'm like, that's not a bad future.
I mean, until the nanobots came in, the nanobots were kind of terrifying. Not gonna lie. Like the poor person sealing up their window. They're like, I'm like, that would be a scary VR game. I feel like I've seen that in a VR game or some sort of game where it's first person, where you're trying to like fill in the holes before a leak or something breaks in.
Yeah,
it might be a horror game. And hello, King Andrew. But yeah, with Kazu, I loved his line in episode 3 where he said he'd go back to his own squad, and he's like, I can't believe I'm saying that. I could go back to my old squad. Can't believe I'm saying that. Like, it must have been pretty bad. Pretty bad with his old squad.
But yeah, it was one of those there's another podcast kind of thing I've been watching called Zeros to Heroes.
I think
they're on Sundays in the evening. They've done Ruby chats, and now they're doing Genlock chats. And somebody mentioned there's a book that Michael Crichton, Jurassic Park writer, created, another book called Prey, which has, I think he mentioned, has something like nanotechnology that kind of like adapts and becomes something
that's
it adapts to what it it's basically a very scary book.
What's with him and making like innovative technology and turning it bad in his books? Like, he's like, hey, here's a cloning technology, let's bring back dinosaurs eat people, cool, all right, bye. Now it's like nanotech, and it turns evil against humanity. John Ronald mentions Rooster Team Radio by the AfterBuzz crew. They're pretty good. I've seen them a few times. But yeah, what were you saying about the nano?
Oh, it was just saying, it's like, that's where I don't know if I feel like I do like in episode 2 how they come back, and there's like, it's almost like pocket like some like the trader.
Dude, okay, so Sinclair.
Yeah, I felt so
baited with him.
Yeah,
dude,
bait and switch. I got so hooked.
Dude, so the RTX animation panel, when they announced Blaine and Chad were gonna be in Genlock, I was so happy for them.
Yeah.
Especially for Blaine. Like, Blaine is like one of my role models, like one of the people I look up to most in Rooster Teeth. I'm like, yeah, he's getting a good role in a good show. I can't wait to see him. And then episode 2, his character's the traitor, dies, and then there was some sad news on the Rooster Teeth podcast with him, and it was just like, no. Did you watch this week's Rooster Teeth podcast?
No, I missed the podcast, but I think I heard about what happened.
I kind of vague tweeted about it because I was just very disappointed. Blaine, they're all talking about Valentine's like plans and like how they can't publicly say like where they're going because fans will go there. And Blaine just kind of said like, oh yeah, I got 3 reservations just for whatever's convenient for the person I'm going with. And then everyone else on the podcast is like, wait, the person? And the chat watching it live was like, what do you mean the person? And he breaks the news that he and Alana broke up like a month ago. And I'm like, no! I just feel so sad about that. Yeah. I'm like, first he dies in Genlock, then that, or that happens, then he dies in Genlock.
I met him at RTX, and I like told him I was happy and looking forward to his character, and I was like, oh.
I did the same. I was passing him in the hallway, and it looked like he was like in a hurry. I'm like, I'm looking forward to you in Genlock. He's like, thanks, and kept walking. So I'm like, yeah, like that's one of my favorite things about RTX is like you just could say hello casually. You don't have to stop them.
You just wave or say hi.
I felt so bad. I felt so bad. And I felt really bad that on the podcast Bernie had to like drag an answer out of him and was like, no, you should talk about this. He's like, I don't want to. And I felt bad for him. Anyway, let's stop talking about his love life and just talk about how he had his brain fried in a computer.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Jumping into episode 3, I like how the characters were like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Yeah, I'm gonna quit.
Yeah. Oh man, they're like, yeah, we just saw how dangerous this technology is. I don't want to risk it. And I thought it was so funny, like how he had to try to convince them. It was a little easier than I expected. It was kind of like, hey, I'll let you do whatever you want, but try this just once. And I guess with Chase and Vaz demonstrating, like, hey, it works. We're safe. We're alive. That convinced them. But it also kind of like Sinclair or the imposter dying in that machine was a huge tell to like, oh, humanity is evolving. They do need a sort of changed neural
they need to be specific
network. Yeah,
can't be anybody.
Yeah, and it's really cool because like evolution happens over a really long period of time. Yeah. And so this is like the very brink of like, hey, there's like less than 1% of humanity who like has this genetic change. We could take advantage of this and maybe eventually it'll grow out throughout the population. Unlike My Hero Academia, where like, hey, people are having genetic changes, let's fix that in a couple generations. Easy. I'm like, that's not how evolution works. That's not how genetics work. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Snip, he said he should have watched episode 2. Glad I welcomed spoilers. Yes, sorry. I guess.
Sorry, this is a up to current date Genlock talk, starting with the first.
Yeah, and episode 2 has been out for 2 weeks almost. So
yeah.
It's a safe time to talk about episode 2.
But it is first member only though, so I don't know how many of us are.
Yeah. You guys, I mean, if you don't feel like Rooster Teeth First is worth it for whatever reason, like maybe you're not like a huge fan into everything else that's Rooster Teeth other than like Ruby or Red versus Blue, and you're like, I don't want to pay like $35 a year. I think Genlock is definitely one of the things that make it worth it. But there's always Verve as well, and you get all of that access to Rooster Teeth, and then you also have like all this amazing anime and other like sci-fi and horror movies to watch as well. And they added a lot of classic Nickelodeon stuff to their library.
Oh.
You could like watch Rugrats All Grown Up. You could watch like Rocket something. There's a few shows you could watch, and Zoe 101, which is it's like this is a weird thing to add to your mostly anime streaming service, but hey, it's there, I guess. But I know for some people who miss the 90s would love that though.
Mm.
John Ronald saying, I'm not bothered by potential Genlock spoilers as I am by Ruby spoilers, which are rage-inducing for me. Whew.
Yeah. That is one of those things. I'm kind of laid back about Genlock right now because it's only the first season and not a lot, I will say, has happened.
And
like,
it's supposed to be like 6 or 8 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
so
8. So it's a pretty short series.
Yeah, we're almost already at the halfway point already.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, go team. I wonder when we'll get like a break in the season if they do that.
Considering how short it is and people are having to pay for this,
yeah,
and they're trying to get a lot done before the summer of animation and stuff.
True.
Don't think it's going to take a break. Maybe, like, I'm pretty sure maybe next season they're gonna have definitely more episodes.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and they might take a break.
I honestly, as long as each episode is really good, I wouldn't mind it still being 8 episodes a season.
Yeah, that's true. Like,
especially with how long the episodes are. Like, I think 8 is a good number because I think by the time this season ends, it'll be just as long as Volume 6.
Yeah.
And Volume 6 was a long one thanks to Chapter 3 and the finale. So.
Yeah.
There's a lot to process with like what to want and what not to want.
Yeah.
I feel. I it's also kind of shocking like the level of like detail in Genlock and like in the surroundings and like all the individuals look different and stuff. I almost feel like I'm watching like a Halo show.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I've been thinking it reminded me of.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because I was watching the intro before the 3rd episode today, and when it shows them all like spread out, you know, and it has like the logo, I saw the Jeeps that they have with the mounted turret on top.
And it's like warthogs.
It looked just like a warthog in that picture.
Like pumas?
Yes. And then, you know, was it Cammy? Someone falls on one or like hits one in the 3rd episode, and we get a better look at them. And it's
Is that the one with the baseball bat where like they're batting?
Yeah, I think.
Or...
Oh yeah. It might have been Kazu. Hitting it with the ball. Yeah.
Which I'll admit, when that happened, I was like, "Excuse me, you're gonna kill somebody."
Yeah, I was immediately like, "Hey, how many times do we watch kids play baseball on a TV show and they break a window, and you're doing this with like a giant piece of metal? Like someone's gonna get killed, or you're gonna destroy some really expensive equipment somewhere." And but they hit the Jeep, and I was like, hey, there's like a full look at the Jeep, and it's a little different from the Warthog, but the angle you get in that one shot in the intro makes it totally look like a Warthog.
Huh.
And then like the Pelicans as well. Like those especially look like they're straight out of Halo. Maybe this is what leads up to Halo. You know, Halo is supposed to be like 200 years in the future. This is like right in the middle.
The end. Like Genlock ends, and the final scene is the Covenant shows up, and Forerunners.
Oh man, that would be fun.
And then it turns into Red versus Blue.
Why are we here? Oh gosh. Yeah. Let's see. Vera was saying the capture the flag scene in episode 3 had to have been partial reference to Red versus Blue season 9 training match.
Oh yeah,
I had that thought too, because they had the pillars kind of set up in a similar way,
and the paintballs and all that sort of thing. Like I was just like, hey, I've seen this before.
Yeah,
Or this seems familiar.
it reminded me more again of Halo, and I was thinking more of like the breakout mode in Halo 5 or just some Halo 3 maps. But yeah, the freelancer training session totally reminds me of that.
Yeah.
Just as long as a grenade doesn't land right next to York and you have to like splatter him and stuff to save his life.
Mm. Uh oh. And also so
Mm-hmm.
a small so Chase's love
Oh,
is
Miranda.
getting actually involved with the other guy.
Yeah, we thought he was just hitting on her, and it turns out
Yeah.
they're like actually in a relationship. Uh that's
That
rough,
definitely
buddy.
like that like there was that one shot where it's like you see Chase discover that and then you see him he has the crushed ball and it's like uh-oh, this isn't gonna end well.
Dude, what I love most is like when Chase was like, "All right, it's my turn to do capture the flag," and like
Yeah.
how I'm like, he's gonna show off. He's gonna be so extra doing this, and he was. And then he like grabbed the guy's robot and like did the finger wag before shoving him over.
I
It
was just
was like
like
a "I see you," boosh. I was like, "Yep, he totally went extra, especially on that guy." Bravo,
you
good
seen the
sir.
meme, right?
Yeah,
The
it was posted in the
who would
Genlock
win?
channel. Yeah, it was like who would win, man with a penis or like what did it say for Chase? Let's
It's like robot, like synthetics or some like advanced or
here.
whatever.
I'm gonna find it
All
so I
his
could read
specs.
it because it was really good. Was it? I think it was Logan that shared it, or was it you? Yeah, it was Logan. It said, "Who would win? A fiercely charming war hero responsible for saving thousands of lives, and who now pilots a 40-foot tall basketball dunking robot, or a guy who still has a penis." And it's like, I mean,
I mean,
he
I
get an
mean, on
upgrade.
the one hand, it's like it is one of those things where it's like I can't blame her. She needed to
Yeah,
find some,
it was 4 years. You know, it
and
was.
he was dead.
Yeah, he was dead. Like, psh, what is she gonna do? Pull out a Ouija board and date him from beyond? Like,
I mean, she kind of would now if they got back together. She would be.
I mean, but he's in the tank. They could do what is it? The Shape of Water. They could do the Shape of Water. You know, like on opposite sides of the glass tank. Um, I it's an interesting dynamic, and you know what was it? Dr. Weller said in in episode 2 of Genlock, because he said something like the nanobots did get to Chase,
They
but
fused with him, and
there's someone keeping
they
him alive.
yeah they're helping him keep him alive, but they can't separate him from them.
Yeah, and
It,
until they find something, he can't be
yeah,
taken out of that tank.
it's it's like like somebody explained the term that happened in Full Metal Alchemist.
Uh
That
huh.
that one thing that happened in Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh yeah, the girl and the dog.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's basically like somebody came up with the term was it's like two like yellow clay and blue clay. You mix them together, it
and
becomes
they're
green, but you
green.
can't separate the colors.
Yeah, yeah.
Once it becomes that color, it's impossible to separate.
It would be interesting. And so Stoic the Dragon Eater said by the end of this season, Chase would totally be getting a robo penis. Um, like, but for one, he'd have to get out of that tank, you know, be able to get that. And in this chapter, Dr. Weller was talking about like there's a lot of applications for the Genlock technology, but right now they're weaponizing it because there's a need for it
Yeah,
in war. I
yeah,
totally see like the Genlock technology at the end of the series or at some point in the show being what cures Chase getting out of that tank and giving him like legs, so to say.
yeah.
Because we haven't
I
seen any sort of prosthetics yet.
yeah. Uh, it, it's kind of funny. We're going. Some people have. I've seen like comments in the videos of like people saying like, so Dr. Weller's totally a bad guy secretly or something like that, or he's a mad scientist
He,
or something.
I think he's a disorganized scientist, therefore he's a bad scientist.
Yeah. And it's like the Ozpin thing again. It's like we all think he's evil when he's just made mistakes. I mean, he's
Yeah,
not
and
evil.
he hasn't. What has he done for people to be suspicious of his character so far?
Yeah.
Because he like kind of like dips around here and there. Like he kind of. Uh, there was something in the newest chapter. It was the conversation between him and the general lady.
Oh
I
yeah, like the final one,
Yeah.
or was it the
It
one
was in
before
the
that?
middle of the episode. It was like while the pilots are arguing and he's arguing with her. He
He's like
she said
explaining.
yeah, she said something like he picked like children to be pilots and like they don't know war or anything, and he said something like they're not children, and he had some sort of like I don't know. For some reason, that seemed like he might have done something a little sketchy to find his candidates, but
To be fair, they do like apart from Cammy, they all look like they're in their 20s, so they're not exactly children.
yeah, 20s, late 20s, early 30s, I would say.
Yeah, so they're
It,
pretty well aged. Like
they're
Cammy looks like she's
they're
at least a teenager.
yeah, I could see her being like 17 to 19.
So yeah,
Um,
like she's the only one I would ever say is child.
child, yeah. Also, I like how after they finish their training, she's like, "All right, we need to celebrate," and Kazu is like, "Beer?" And she's like, "No, video games. I'm stuck on a level," and it's like, "But you're the gamer. If you can't get past the level, who else in the squad is going to get past that level? That doesn't. You're the one with the experience playing the game, unless it's like Siege and like Chase knows how to play, but." Oh no.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was another thing. Like, so far we're 2 for 2 on uh RT Rooster Teeth voice actors getting offed.
Yeah, Lindsey Jones and
So
Blaine.
yeah, so it's like I'm a
What's
little worried for everybody else.
yeah, what's gonna
That's
happen to
like,
Chad and Miles, huh?
yeah, it's like
I mean,
or Gray's voicing in this too, isn't he?
yeah,
He's
I saw him on the list.
he's like
Oh, he's
the lead
Leon. Leon
mech guy.
August. Oh,
Not
okay. You know he's a good voice actor when you just do not hear his voice when he speaks. Because
yeah, like it
that
took me to episode 3 to realize, oh, that's Gray.
yeah, I watched episode 3 over my head. I
I also have been like forgetting to catch the names in the credits.
yeah.
Like, they go by so fast.
Wow. Oh, okay. I think it was Colonel Raquel that was talking to Weller. That's
Mm.
I think that was the name of the character. Dominic Frere says, "Portal, I shall give you the drink of Dominic. Drink it in, man." What the heck, Dominic? That is a weird. What? Okay. uh, let's see. Oh, Stoic the Dragon Eater is saying, "Explain one of the theories I liked on Discord." Uh, do you know when you posted it in the Discord and what the theory is about? By any chance? Um, Stoic. Okay. Stoic just said, "I cannot watch this show without erected nipples. That is all." Well, he said it, not me. I just forwarded his words for everyone else to suffer with me. You're just staring at the camera like Jim from The Office.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just like okay, I don't even I'm not even gonna I don't know what to say.
Yeah. Okay. Verif corrected me on the quote they said about Chase. He said if he hadn't been infected, he wouldn't have lasted long enough for us to find
Yeah.
him. And then Verif also had a comment saying, "Speaking of Cammy, she's the only one who isn't military in some form. Makes me wonder when she was tested for compatibility." Well, we were just talking about how she's the gamer in the group. I would not be
Yeah, so
surprised if she's like a esports
they
player.
diva'd her.
She's diva.
Yeah, basically like
Please have
they
her say "nerf this" at some
oh
point.
my yeah okay
or she just says something like "love Cammy," and then there's an explosion or something like. Just Pull some sort of diva move, which is funny because Valentina to me reminds me a lot of Widowmaker.
Of Sombra.
Oh, I was gonna say Widowmaker, but Sombra works too.
Oh,
She's like a
yeah.
mix of the two, but I was thinking
Yeah.
because she was a sniper.
She is a sniper.
Yeah, sniper, purple color scheme.
Yeah.
Is it a French accent she's talking with? What kind of?
Maybe.
Maybe no one knows. She's mystery. Yeah. Oh, and John Ronald, I noticed the Puerto Rican flag on in her office as well. It was a nice touch. It's like, I don't know. Like at first I noticed it, and I was like, oh yeah, Puerto Rico's part of America, and then I was like, oh wait, she's Puerto Rican. So,
that is kind of one thing that I have a little not like an issue, but it's like it's kind of a thing that I want to have answered. Is there's not a lot of like there's a lot of like background world building, but there's not a lot of explained world building. Like what's happening with Canada? Why is this only in America? What happened to the States? Like where's happened to Mexico?
Because there's been mention of Japan quite a bit and like war as well with Kazu, and like it seems like the rest of them have talked about war. So I just wonder if like the Union is like in this like world conflict and America just stayed untouched for so long and then just like they quickly swept America. That makes sense. Because they also said the Union finally made their move. So I wonder if this conflict has been going on longer in a broader world sense.
Yeah. That's just something I hope that I get, because it's like we're thrown in the middle and we're not given not even a crawl, not even a Star Wars crawl that explains like what happened.
Oh yeah. And that's like the easiest and like most basic way to like give the audience some information, but maybe maybe
without a Star Wars crawl, we're just thrown into the Rebel cruiser being chased by the Star Destroyer and nothing. It's like, what's happening?
Yeah. They're like, what? Why are they being chased? What plans did they steal?
Yeah.
What? I wonder if they're leaving it as like stuff for people to like question and ponder about and still come back for a season 2 and season 3, 4 as like
I get that. It's just like I want to know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of why I'm not hooked yet.
Yeah, because there's like all this that you're like, okay, what about this? And it hasn't come yet.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, we're 3 episodes in. So
yeah, I'm forgiving the first season.
They're not even militarized yet. Like they're like, hey, we just barely got in our mechs. Let's play sports. So, but yeah, season 2, I would expect more of that mention as well.
Yeah.
And I
at least the finale.
Yeah, or the finale. Yeah, by the time of the finale. Let's see. There was John Ronald saying, "Wonder if the Union is short for European Union?" ? That is a interesting guess. And considering none of the pilots are from Europe, that would explain quite a bit.
Didn't we just say one of them could be French?
Yeah, people in the chat are saying she's from Ukraine. So, that's more Middle East. So,
yeah.
Yeah, and, oh, wait. John Ronald is saying Val is ex-Union. So, wait a second.
Yeah, one of them is ex-Union.
Ukraine is not in the Middle East. Hold on.
That's near Russia, right?
Yeah, that's what was just hitting me. I'm like, Ukraine on the
geography
map.
Not totally.
No, so honors geography was one of the classes I was unfairly thrown in high school. They're like, hey, this kid is really great at writing. Let's throw him in honors math, science, and geography. And I'm like, but why? I only word good, or at least I used to. Ukraine is part of Europe, and it's right on the border of Russia. Because Russia is so freaking huge. What the heck?
It's half ice.
I know it's like most of it's like not even livable land, so no one should be that jealous. Um, yeah, it's right next to Poland and Romania, so
Yaz is the Union, ex-Union.
yeah, she is. So that kind of does confirm that the Union might be the European Union or like some sort of empire.
Maybe.
Oh, Hannah Ray is saying, "Is the Union the Empire?" Yes, in Star Wars terms, the Union would be the Empire. They're
I
the baddies. Hmm?
if you have you played Mass Effect? Like any of it?
I've played a tiny bit of Mass Effect 2.
Okay. So there's the kind of evil um faction Cerberus
Mm-hmm.
in that gives they're kind of the scientific um military science uh for humanity, like human only purposes kind of science
Yeah.
advancements and all that sort of thing. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting about the Union right now. Like they're very like I'm not even though I know nothing about them, I get this like they are very militarized. In Mass Effect 3
Yeah.
things go really bad with Cerberus, but that's kind of what I'm getting from the Union right now is their technological advancements and uh,
Yeah, they're
imperialistic motives.
yeah, it feels like that as well because they just like invaded unannounced and then like also like they are really advanced in technology because like it seems like the the good guys right now don't have any nanotech at all, so they're like,
Yeah,
how to fight this question mark other than EMPs, like they have very little to counter it right now. um
I'm the one thing I'm actually kind of wondering what they're going to do with is Chase's family.
yeah, that is a good question. Like
I'm
I
kind of torn between two paths, or at least an idea of what they might do.
yeah.
Either uh, they're prisoners and they're hostages or something. They get captured and used against Chase and the Gen people, the Gen locks,
Yeah.
or they like it looked like his mom didn't seem surprised by what was going on. So I'm kind of grasping at straws, but maybe they joined the Union.
Oh, like as just to like save themselves, pretty much.
Maybe kind of like that one family did,
Yeah,
sort
like
of
the
thing.
guy had the badge. So I want I'm pulling up the first episode on my computer right now because I kind of want to like see if we could find something in the background. There's come on. I pull up Chrome and it's like, hey, we're not gonna show what you're actually okay. Now they're actually showing what I'm seeing. Okay, so in the background, you see some pictures. There's like it looks like maybe the parents were policemen at some point. There's like a wedding picture, shows the dad with Chase and what's his sister's name?
I forgot.
Yeah, oof. Um,
I have to when I show my brother, I'll have to rewatch. I need to rewatch those episodes.
yeah, and then it looks like in their other picture, there's just like the dad, mom, Chase, and them. So it looks like there's only two kids, at least that we know
Yeah,
of, because I'm gonna assume the picture of the two cops are the parents, and so really there's like not really much we could pick off of the family.
yeah. But it is the one
Oh,
thing she's
Driana
like
is the
she
sister's name. Thank you, Veriv.
ah. But yeah, that is one thing where it's like she didn't. Yeah, she acted like she knew this was happening or coming, and she like was like she talked to her daughter and was like, "Get ready" or something.
I I want to say that's more of military instinct or like combat and survivalist instinct because
Yeah,
we saw the American flag, the folded American flag up on the
yeah,
wall, so we know their father died in service. We know that she from the pictures was also a police officer, and who knows
Yeah.
if she also was in the military at some point. So it could just be instincts
Yeah.
coming in and being like, okay, we're gonna get out. So
Yeah, like I it's one of those like I'm just grasping at it, like it's a possibility, it's out there, it's not 100%. And plus, I mean, her son is in the army that she would be fighting against if she joined it. So it's like,
I want to put my money more on like they escaped and they might be found in a rescue mission, because they did mention rescue missions
now that
in
that
episode 3. So I could see
yeah,
them somewhere in the Badlands just trying to get by, and they're probably in a group of other survivors and refugees. I saw John Ronald's comment.
yeah,
He said the flag would be for a deceased veteran, right? Yeah, my money's on like the father, because I think verbally they said something like your father would have been proud of you or something like that.
yeah. They said that something like that. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's the father that died. Stoic is saying, what if the Union got them? Well, that's kind of what you were talking about, right?
yeah. Well,
It,
it's not. It's like maybe the Union got them, but what did they? What happened to them when they were
were got.
with the? What did the Union do with them?
Yeah, like did they like join the Union to like save their own skins? Are they prisoner? Um,
Like,
it could be that if the guy pretending to be Sinclair did report back to them, could have said, "Hey, Chase is alive," and then now they're gonna be like, "All right, pull them out of the prison. We're gonna use them in a hostage situation
yeah,
and try to capture a Holon through that."
yeah. So, okay, jumping back to Sinclair, what was his plan?
You know, that was something that I was thinking. I'm like, there's a few logic flaws in this plan, because sure he'd be running away in a robot, but
Body
his
is
physical
still
body, and if he grabs his body in the tank and yanks it out, his body is gonna die probably. Like,
it's like they could just unplug you once you're asleep, and like
yeah.
sure, like
Well, they said
unless
like your brain gets uploaded, so I think if the physical body dies, you're just forever trapped in that robot.
you're stuck in
You,
that, yeah, which
I,
is
I would say you're stuck in it, or until they find like some sort of body substitute, like you know, the robot helper.
yeah,
They would probably get one of those for his mind to like inhabit for like more domestic stuff.
yeah. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, is this the plan? Like, what is this what you're doing?
Maybe he was willing to die for the cause. He's like, hey, as long as we get this robot back to the Union, they could like deconstruct it and see how it works, and
Yeah,
like build backwards the Genlock technology.
mm-hmm. Which um that is something like the one little tiny funny thing is like I think one of the Union like one of their helmets looked like something from Halo 4's armory. Like one of the masks. I can't
Uh-huh.
remember which helmet it was. It was like it was it was one of the ones that you could even see in Red versus Blue.
Oh, the Spartan masks.
Yeah, the Spartan mask basically. Like one of the masks. I think like maybe they modeled one because you know they've used Halo 4 and Halo models and all that sort of
Yeah,
thing. So it's like we just repaint it and put it in the thing and make it foot soldiers.
yeah. I mean, I was gonna say like both Halo and Genlock are very military based, so it's not surprising that their styles are very
Yeah.
similar. Because a lot of the Halo design and uniforms and even the vehicles were based off of real life stuff, and
Yeah.
Genlock probably did the same thing because they're like, hey, we want to be like our current world just 50 years in the future. Also, Quaysnib. No, wait. Who was it? Who was it? Who said the quote? Oh, Varif said it. He said, remember that Sinclair said that he saw Chase. When he saw Chase, I know someone who would very much like to say hello to you. Might
Oh.
might be the mom and sister, or some other relative of his. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot to figure out, and like
Yeah.
I've heard some things that might happen, but I'm not too sure on them, and therefore don't want to be like say something and just be completely wrong. Because after
Yeah.
Volume 4 of Ruby, I'm just like, pfft, forget my theories, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really love the potential of Genlock though.
Yeah.
So
It's got good. I need it to answer more than give questions. I need more
don't worry,
questions than
they're gonna find a
more answers.
lantern. They'll
Yeah.
name it Jin. Jin will come out and she'll give us all the answers we need in an entire
And
episode.
then that confirms that, Genlock is the future of Ruby.
Yeah.
Which means it's the past of Red versus Blue.
Yep.
So it's all connected.
It's all connected somehow. You know what would be really hilarious is if someone is watching Red versus Blue inside of Genlock. Like, Red versus Blue exists, but it's still a web series.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I'm watching
it's only like what, 50 years in the future?
Yeah.
You're on Red versus Blue season 2035.
Oh god. Yeah. They're just like, oh yeah, this is like the oldest machinima that's still going on, and it's like yeah. Stoic the Dragon Eater is saying not Blaine could have been talking about someone who's been or is in Chase's position. Could have been talking about someone who's been or is in Chase's
The opening does allude to there is an evil mech person they're probably going to encounter. So
oh wait, was that in the intro? I know it's been in some of the promotion art.
I
mean, not the promotion art, promotion ads. The robot
I haven't
with
seen
4
the ads,
arms.
but I do believe. But from the opening, I have you do see like a very
there's a
evil
black mech that was in the promotions, and you'd see like the entire Genlock team taking on that mech, and it had like 4 arms or something. Ooh. So what if?
So we're gonna be fighting General Grievous.
Yeah, hello there. General Kenobi.
General Kenobi.
Okay, Hunt SD confirmed that, yeah, the evil mech is in the intro, which, honestly, I haven't been watching the intro a whole lot. I've just been listening to the full version of Belgrade a lot, so I should have been watching the stuff more, but usually during the intros, I'm setting up for recording, so I don't visually look at them too much. Verif is saying, on the possibility of being trapped in a Holon, Weller mentioned something about an uptime limit, but didn't elaborate further. Yeah, I wonder if that's a limit that can grow after use, though.
It's like a muscle. You just get used to.
Like, the more you exercise it, the longer you can do it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see, like, maybe the mind slowly degrades inside the cyber brain, like if
that
it's
or it
in there too much.
Like what happened with Cammy, which was really interesting, is that all the mechs are the same size, so in her mind, her proportions are now different than her actual body's proportions.
Yeah,
it's like
that was very interesting. But I'm thinking like, let's say how the internet works, because I mentioned like that wasn't on VYTALCast. That was the post-episode part of my reaction video I was talking about. But I feel like with the Genlock technology, it might go to where people could communicate just brain to brain, kind of like the internet, but the brains are the network. And with how the internet works, like about ping, like
something like that. Yeah.
So I'm wondering if between the cyber brain and like the mech and the body, it's sending packets back and forth, and after a certain limit you risk losing packets, or like you're gonna have like a certain packet percentage missed or lost, but if you go on for too long, then you're gonna be losing more packets and then eventually just lose connection / lose the person.
Yeah. I don't know, you go ahead.
Oh no, you go. I was just about to read a comment, but it was Red versus Blue. Oh wait, no, it was Stoic saying BRB, gotta take a shower. See ya, Stoic, get clean.
But of course, like, again, another like mecha relation I got from this, even though it's like not entirely similar, but it's like I get a very Evangelion feeling from how this transfer into controlling the mech works, kind of thing.
Yeah, I get that. Like, because in Evangelion, the pod fills with liquid and like you
Yeah,
create a
you have to
neural
sync with
connection.
it, your mind, and
Yeah,
all
that
that.
and to a point, Darling in the Franks, um, but
Yeah, that
that
too.
uh that was kind of like the two pilots need to sync, and like the girl pilot, especially if she can't sync up with a robot, things go bad. Um,
Yeah,
but I
I've
think
only seen
Evangelion is a bit, or Pacific Rim, as Hannah Ray just mentioned.
that
Those
that
two.
that too.
Actually, the hangar with all the Holons remind me a lot of Genlock. I mean, remind me a lot about Pacific Rim. Let me
Yeah,
rephrase. Genlock reminds me of Pacific Rim. Genlock, of course, reminds me of Genlock because it is Genlock. Uh,
yeah.
it reminded me a bit of like when they were showing like all the different I forget what the mechs are called in. Are they called Titans in Pacific Rim? Or Jaegers? They're
I
called Jaegers.
oh god, I was gonna plan on watching that movie
No,
soon.
no, no.
Oh
They're
dang
called
it.
Jaegers. I think.
Jaegers. Yeah,
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 Mecha in
yeah. That's
Pacific Rim.
yeah.
Is that what people are saying? No, no
Yeah.
one in the chat has said anything. Why Pacific Rim Uprising and its mecha robots barely feel like science? Wait, no, I just wanted to see. Let's see. Uh, yeah, I'm not gonna get any answers fast through Google today. Yeah, it's a Jaeger. Okay, all I knew was the name of the mechs in Pacific Rim reminded me of Attack on Titan because Aaron Yeager, like his last name.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. That's right.
so which I think means hunter in German. So
Yeah.
because Attack on Titan was like very German based and stuff, and I that kind of created a little bit of controversy back in the day, but um, just because of a certain character acting like a certain historic figure a bit.
Huh.
Yeah,
I haven't seen. I've been actually starting to thinking about starting season 2 of Attack on Titan, catching up,
you
just
know,
because I've
I
been
I watched
behind.
episode 1 of season 3 and dropped it. Um,
Oh.
a lot of people in the chat are gonna be like, "What?" I'll explain why. Episode 1 had one of my favorite action scenes from the manga, and I felt like they really screwed it up with the pacing and like how stuff unfolded. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm done.
Mm.
I was also just getting bored of the manga as well, so I was just like, if I'm not invested in the manga, why should I bother with the anime? So,
Yeah.
let's see. People are saying, oh, and SSS Gridman is also a good sample. That's a Netflix series, right, Stoic? Also, what happened to you being in the shower? Are you watching VYTALCast while in the shower? That's a little weird. Like, um, yeah. So, yeah, the hangar reminded me a lot of Pacific Rim, and like with the different Jaegers all lined up in their different corners, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Um. Oh, another really like when I saw like the Genlock robots, I kind of thought they were a little boring, and then I found out that that's just an armor piece that is interchangeable. So it's like, oh,
Yeah,
that's actually way more interesting. It's like they can change body parts
yeah,
and get new tech.
yeah. Which is really cool, and like how he said like, oh, this is just a basic frame, and like that's why they all look the same. Like the faces, oddly enough, remind me a bit of Bumblebee, the robot.
Yeah.
Like his face in the original Transformers movie.
Mm.
Did you hear yelling for a second?
I don't know if
It
that
was
was me.
it sounded like it cut off for like a hot second. It was really
Mm.
weird.
My yeah, one of my roommates are coming back home and they know I'm busy, but
Oh, okay.
if you can hear it, it's probably the mic picking it up slightly.
Nah, that's all right.
It's all right.
Henry is saying the Union builds Mecha Godzilla. I think that's when the yeah, the Ruby crossover happens. They capture the Leviathan Grim, and then they add Genlock technology to it, and then it's Mega Godzilla.
they capture the mecha. They Cordovan fuses her mech with the Sea Grim and just makes Mecha Godzilla.
Oh gosh, dude, I still have mixed feelings on like that part of the finale. Like I understand why Cordovan had the motivation change. I just felt like the delivery could have been a little better.
Yeah,
And the delivery of her just karate kicking and then stabbing the Leviathan Grim didn't fit entirely too well because it felt too much like a cartoon, less like an anime. Like it didn't feel like a big epic moment or a dramatic moment. It didn't have
it was. I could definitely see the reference that was definitely there. It was for Gurren Lagann, which
and that's why
is an anime you need to watch.
Yeah. And in that moment, David knew he messed up. Yeah,
it's a tiny, small reference.
Yeah,
but
I mean, Gurren Lagann is also like one of the biggest influences for Ruby, so it's like I should do my homework at some point in my life and watch that anime.
Yeah.
But I just started Land of Lustrous, which oddly enough reminds me a lot of Ruby. I was like, am I just watching a Ruby AU? Like I honestly thought I was watching a Ruby AU when I was watching Land of Lustrous.
I just start over?
Yeah. Oh man, Atlanta Lustrous is pretty good. Although Verve would do like they're doing the broadcast version and home video edition, so like one has touched up animation. Ruby does this a bit too, where like the version they upload to the Rooster Teeth site, they'll clean it up a bit before they do the Blu-ray, and so basically,
sometimes like, they'll forget things, or the audience will notice little animation things, and they'll fix them up later, and then
they'll fix it for the Blu-ray. Because honestly, like animation is buggy. Like you're working with a program, so
and they have a tight schedule, almost like month to week.
You know, I almost had a bug in my finale reaction video. I almost had the reaction the episode footage slowly go down as I watch it. And I didn't catch it till after I exported it, so I had to fix it, re-render, and then export again.
How did that happen?
I forgot to keyframe something. Because what I do is I have my face footage and then the episode footage, and I'll keyframe for like the episode to slide into the video and then to drop down. And I basically had the keyframe for when it's down, but I forgot the keyframe of before it starts moving down. So it thought like, oh, once it slides in over the course of like this 23-minute episode, we're gonna slowly drag it down to that other keyframe. And I did an oopsie, but I fixed it before I uploaded it to YouTube.
Honestly, I think that would have been pretty funny to watch the video in the actual reaction. Just see the video slowly creeping.
People in the comments are like, "Hey, by this point, we can't even see what you're looking at, dude. Like, what happened?" Like, I don't think a lot of people realize, but like when I pause at the end of each Ruby episode, and I keep talking to the camera, so my monitor is still lighting on me. Mm-hmm. And I paused when the screen was red. So when I'm talking about the finale of Ruby, my face is like red lighted. And people are like, what's that red light? I'm like, the computer monitor. I paused on like the Rooster Teeth animation thing that shows at the end.
Yeah.
And it was just happened to be when the frame was like entirely red, so I was lit up red. So let's see, Hunt SD, he's bringing up My Hero Academia. He said, as much as I love the manga for My Hero Academia, this current arc is definitely going to be better animated. It feels really slow. Which is weird, because that's the opposite of my complaint. I felt like it was really fast. I mean, I guess we both have like different opinions on the same thing, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's kind of my opinion of jumping into a Ruby thing. Is like people say like the volumes have been like the last two volumes were really slow or really like boring or something like that. I'm just like, part of me kind of thinks like things were moving too fast.
I could see that for Volume 5, but not so much for Volume 4. Because
Yeah.
volume 4 we had so much that we were focusing on because we were having 4 different
Yeah.
points of view.
One part of me just one thing I've always said about Volume 4 is I feel like we jumped past a lot of character development that we could have grown with.
Yeah, I definitely felt like it was Weiss and then Yang who like got the most. And maybe
Yeah, but
Blake.
even like I I just feel like there's this tiny like maybe 6 episodes or our full volume between 3 and 4 that we didn't get.
Yeah. Yeah, it would have been nice. That's kind of like the double-edged sword of time jumps is
Yeah.
you miss out on all this stuff because like Naruto did that as well. They did a 2-year time skip and it's
Mm.
like, oh yeah, I'm suddenly a lot better of a ninja and I know all these other cool jutsus and powers. And we're like, bruh, one of the
How?
yeah, it's like one of the main things we watch this show is to see you train and like learn and be better. We just skipped all of that.
Yeah. That's kind of I just that was just something I that's why I like volume 6 is like a good restart to this because it kind of every sets everything back to uh like a good level. Like
Yeah,
4 and 5 kind of went back and forth, and then
yeah.
6 kind of brought it back to the
Six,
good.
I have one slight pacing issue is that I feel like the last 3, possibly 4 episodes could have been condensed to like 3 or 2
Yeah,
episodes even.
yeah,
I felt like the mech fight dragged a little bit more than it could have. Um,
yeah.
but at the same time, if they didn't drag it out as much as they could, people could have complained that they
That's
broke it too easy.
well, yeah, that's true. And also, I mean, it was originally gonna be 14 episodes, and then they pulled it back to 13 because
Yes,
the pacing I think was too much or something like that.
it would have been
So
slowed down too much if they did a 14th episode because it's also I think if anything they probably shortened down the Grim Invasion part because
maybe,
that was super short and I was
yeah,
worried that was going to be the entire finale episode. I'm like, how many times do we have to go through Grim Invasion finales? Which I know it's not going to be the last one.
yeah,
Yeah. Although, so volume 7 with Atlas and like
yeah.
the cliffhanger with Salem and getting the Grim with
The Grim Monkeys,
yeah
her
the
flying
flying
monkeys.
monkeys. Yeah, I want to say flying monkeys, but I saw Cal get flack for calling them flying monkeys. I want to
Yeah,
see I want to see Atlas get invaded like mid season, like have it be more unexpected.
yeah, they could do that. That could work. I um Yeah. Oh, part of me's kind of thinking like if we do like I was thinking we could do Atlas as two parts. Like one part is the setup and the other like volume 8 is the full invasion. And like we just start volume 8 with the invasion.
You know, I don't know if I personally I don't know if I'd want that just because of like the pacing and stuff
Yeah. I
because
did have a
I'm seeing some people complain that they felt like volume 6 was set up so much plot and then just passed it on to volume 7, and if volume
that's
7
what
did that I'd feel like that complaint would be more valid.
yeah, but it's one of those things where it's like you don't answer every I mean,
Yeah,
volume
you
6
don't answer
answered
it.
like so much.
It answered stuff we didn't even know we needed too.
Yeah.
So like
It's like
and also like the whole point that we're having another season is that there's still plot to be had, you know.
mhm.
And there's like still answers we want, like hey, we're gonna end it with them arriving at Atlas and you're gonna be like, what, we want to see Atlas, give us Atlas, and then we come back at volume 7 because we know it has Atlas, and volume 7 is
Yeah.
going to end at some point and we're going to be like, what, we want this, and then volume 8 will deliver that, and that's why we watch volume 8. So
Yeah. I'm just thinking like we're gonna spend a lot of time in Atlas and learn a lot about Atlas. But I also feel like we're also gonna because if that's mantle in the ground on the ground below, that
mhm.
we're gonna learn a little bit about that too.
Yeah,
But
is now please remind me what mantle is because I
it's the
remember.
defunct kingdom.
Oh,
It's the
during the
kingdom that,
war.
yeah, well, it was the first kingdom. It was the first kingdom of Anima, and then Atlas basically it evolved into Atlas, but left
Left the
Mantle.
ground. Okay.
Yeah, literally. I didn't.
Yeah,
You didn't
yeah.
think that was.
Gee, that reminds me of so many different like sci-fi series, but also reminds me of Skyward
Yeah.
Sword, oddly enough, because that's like the whole floating island village.
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, the goddess saved the kingdom and rose it off the ground so it wouldn't be in danger anymore. So that.
That's
Hmm?
one thing I could see them doing is because it's kind of funny. Like the first thing almost everybody did when they saw Atlas, the second they saw Atlas, everybody was like, "That's gonna fall. Like that's going to fall."
I heard, and I think someone told me that Semblance of Sanity said they think they're gonna drop Atlas on top of Salem. Like just a random crazy prediction he had was like, I think Ironwood is gonna just drop the whole city on her. I'm like, but what
Maybe
about all the people that live in the city?
that, but that is the one thing I'm kind of expecting. Like, could like if Atlas falls and it falls probably back in where it came, like back in the mines.
Hmm.
I'm kind of thinking that that if it falls at the finale of Volume 7 or something like that, and Volume 8, uh, like it's one of those things where it's like, how do we mix these two volumes or keep us in the same vicinity of the area, but keep things new? Is like pretty sure Mantle is full of Faunus that are angry at Atlas. So
Hmm.
it's like the second Atlas falls, it gets invaded by all these angry residents, and the whole
Yeah.
kingdom just tears itself apart.
Well, when I first saw Atlas and like the mines down below, some of it seemed like some people actually live down below in that area, and I bet that's like where most of the faunus population for Atlas live in. And like it,
Mhm.
to me, I thought I saw like a huge like class disadvantage type
Yeah,
of thing,
that's
and it was like,
the
oh boy, like there's a
meme
good chance Volume 7 is gonna be like
heavy.
political. Yeah, heavily, very politically heavy. And personally, I'm kind of all for that because I love it when we learn about like a world's
Yeah,
politics and like see their like non-violent conflicts.
I mean, to be fair, we've been building to this, so to not get it would be kind of disappointing.
Yeah, and like a lot of people said something about like Adam being wasted and whatever because of his scar, and like his scar, we need to know about the scar. And
He's
the
not the only branded Faunus.
he's not.
He can't be.
And also, I felt like the scar enough told the story because it had
Yeah.
SDC for Schnee Dust Company. So we're like, oh, that explains a lot. That explains his motives for specifically aiming against Schnee Dust
Yeah.
Company, and like why the White Fang was like, hey, we're not happy with this company. It's very discriminative and like is part of the problem for our oppression.
That is that is something I was kind of like I do agree like with some people kind of wanting to like we should have had Weiss see Adam too, like meet him, and because
Mm.
for the person that Adam mostly started his his anger from, where most of his anger come, he never actually got to meet the person related to this um
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, but I feel like once we meet the other faunus that have that
Yeah,
branding, Blake
that's
is
something
definitely
I'm
gonna bring it up.
yeah, like that's what I think they'll do is I hope they'll do is Blake, like Weiss sees all of, like in Mantle, she goes down to Mantle, which
Mhm.
and she sees all of the other Brandon. That's when Blake brings up Adam, and that gives us a little bit of more Adam's backstory that people are craving for.
Yeah,
And
and I think we'll definitely have like a, you know, there might be a character that we meet that is branded and would basically be the this is what Adam could have been.
mm,
You know, like a
yeah,
good person who went through this experience, but instead of like taking that
yeah,
pain and inflicting it on others, they used that pain to motivate
like a
themselves to like
much like a
yeah,
young Faunus or something
like a
like that.
younger Faunus. I don't really care about their age, but like just
Yeah.
who they are as a person is like Adam with his crossroad of like what to do. Instead of like going for revenge, he could have gone for like true equality and like
Yeah.
bettering the world. But instead, he went
Made
like,
better decisions, basically.
yeah, basically like a hey, if Adam made a better decision, this is what he could have been like. So I don't know. I don't think Adam's a wasted character. I
Yeah.
think like we're gonna get
It,
closure of him next
it's
volume.
I just like I don't I his death and everything is it's perfect. It's fine. It's
Mm-hmm.
just I feel like there was not enough in but if there was more in between, like the more we learned about him a little bit, not
Mm-hmm.
much, just a little bit more about him, then people probably wouldn't be complaining about him dying now. It's just
And
that I feel like they don't have anything to
I
feel like
I
they
think
experienced.
I think to a point, Rooster Teeth did acknowledge that, and that's the whole point why Adam had the trailer for Volume 6.
Yeah,
You know, because I think they went, hey, we should probably,
give up more.
give him a character short so people could see more of like who he was like
Yeah,
and like his backstory a little bit more. But I feel like the scar fills in a lot of blanks that we didn't
yeah.
have. And it makes you
Honestly,
think, but
yeah,
and and also like Blake seeing like other faunists with the same branding could spark like a flashback or a flashback episode of like
yeah.
how her family and the White Fang found Adam and like what he was
Mm,
like when they first met, because that's kind of like one thing we still haven't seen is like them
mm,
first meeting, which I think would tell a lot.
yeah.
We've just
Like,
seen them well into their relationship.
yeah, like a
Hmm.
that yeah, that is something I'd like to see is even if it's like just tiny flashbacks into some characters' past that give us more story like the girls or the main characters past is like and they can give us a little bit of extra story on other like side characters or other stories and that's just like it doesn't have to be much but it's enough to satisfy
Yeah,
some cravings or desires.
yeah. And I noticed a comment from Verif. He said, I don't think faunus branding is necessarily a regular thing. I'm betting that Adam's case was pretty unique, and maybe the brand was made for putting the logo on crates or something, not people. And that's a very good that there's a very good chance that it was more of like a punishment or just like
Yeah,
some really bad human doing that.
yeah, I could.
But I
I
could
mean
also see
even
there being a few repeated cases.
I mean even if this did happen to Adam, it doesn't mean he was the only victim of this.
This type
um
of behavior.
yeah.
Because knowing like how the Schnee Dust Company or like Atlas as a whole kind of thinks of Faunus, and
Yeah.
because we did hear quite a bit from like the Blake trailer for Volume 5 with Ilya's story, because she was
Hmm.
going to school in Atlas in that story, and they all kind of like laughed and were like, "Oh yeah, a bunch of Faunus died. Who cares? That's funny." And then Ilya
Yeah.
accidentally outed herself as a Faunus and
Yeah.
got exiled pretty much. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there were repeated cases and people in Atlas don't really like bat an eye at it at all.
Mhm. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what they do in the next volume,
Yeah.
considering how much we've built up to this and how much story they have to tell. Like versus Mistral and uh uh Jade or what was it called? The academies in Mistral and all that sort of Haven.
Hmm.
There wasn't a lot of build up to Haven, just that it was another school. But Atlas has been built up since volume two.
Yeah.
So
And the Schnee Dust Company, I would say, has been built up since the first volume.
yeah,
But
that too.
Atlas,
Like there's a lot in just this one place that has been built.
yeah. Verif is saying even if there was an official brand, why would they put it on his eye? Uh, I mean, I don't think you're wrong with it was meant to be put on crates, but I do think like as punishments, they used it on Faunus. why put it on his eye is so like people can see his face. Like maybe Adam, he was probably good looking before then, and they just wanted to ruin that just out of
Yeah, it's like
spite.
you can't hide this, even if it's
Yeah,
just
the
it's
face is a very open spot for all to see. It was very much like a we're doing this to own you. We're doing this to like uh, show that you're no more than property, pretty much.
yeah.
Huntus D says, as much as I don't want to see racism in Atlas, if I don't see it, I'd be a little peeved, especially since it got built up so much. And that's kind of why I have the feeling Volume 7 might be hitting this more directly. And also, like, where was it? It was, someone said Blake, something about Blake having to hide her ears again. Let's see.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah, Stoic said it. Um, I think with her character development, she might actually not.
yeah. Unless it depends. It is one of those things where it's like,
It could be a safety thing.
it's like one of those things where it's like just for now, just for here. It's not like I'm doing this to, but it's like to make it less troublesome on the group,
Yeah,
sort of thing.
yeah,
But it's
kind
not
of.
like she's going backwards. Like she's not taking steps back. She's just taking a precaution.
Yeah, for safety of the group and all.
Yeah,
I I could see that, but I also could see like, let's say with the polarity of like Weiss going down and seeing how the Faunus are treated by her own company and
yeah,
in her own city and stuff. We'd also have the polarity of Blake up in Atlas and how she's getting
yeah.
treated up there.
That
I think it'd be a mirrored image,
that's yeah. I would really like to see that. Like if Blake has to hide herself up there, we have Weiss would have to hide herself down there. Like because
Yeah,
there'd be a
either
lot of
them hiding or
angry.
like them in the open, like one or the other. It's going to be like a very mirrored experience for the two of them.
Yeah,
And speaking of Blake, I wonder what sort of outfit and weapon change she's going to get, because I bet she's going to get that.
I'm so looking forward to
Yeah.
that. Just new outfits and weapon upgrades and just all the goodies.
Yeah, because I don't know if you remember, but when like they announced the character designs for Volume 4, and like this was like first or second episode of VYTALCast, and we were like analyzing the costumes and the design choices, and Blake and Yang's outfits with the tailcoats was very much
Yeah,
mirroring like Adam's original outfit, and
yeah,
Blake was wearing white versus his black, so it's kind of like a counter or a
hmm
foil to that. And then
yeah,
Yang's was very much like a unfinished business, like motivation type standpoint. But now that that's all over, I wonder what kind of outfit choice she'd have. Like, what would it look, and like symbolically, what would it represent for her character?
yeah.
Like, would she go back to black? Like,
I kind of hope
maybe purple?
she'd go. Like I just again, like I mentioned this like last week. I think it was like
Mm.
I didn't like her coat because it countered her color scheme.
I
Because I was
agree. I agree. I think the coat purely was like symbolic choice of like
mhm.
this is to represent Adam, and this is like I'm gonna face on and like foil that. But
So yeah, I'm hoping she goes back to more darker colors, more her tone,
yeah, and
and
it might fit Atlas as well, because if she has to go back into hiding, because Stoic is saying she might hide her eyes just so she doesn't get harassed and for a dramatic reveal moment. So that would be cool. Like if she's in a heated debate or like speech or something, pull off the ribbon and reveal she's a Faunus.
yeah,
I don't know. There's
just a lot to look forward to.
there is.
Even if it's gonna be rough, it's definitely what we've been building towards.
Yeah, for sure. And well, I think we're gonna conclude this week's VitalCast with that, because I'm tired
Uh,
and my voice is
well,
going. But dude, thank
yeah,
you again. And
same.
also for those in the chat who don't know, you offered to be a guest like very last minute, And honestly, you're a lifesaver for doing that, because I'd just be talking to a camera again.
Yeah, I would have said something last week, but I was like, I was not feeling that well last week, so
Yeah, that's
so
been
I'm
me
good
for
today.
a good month. Yeah. Uh, Huntus D says, "Let's just hope we don't stay in a room for the entire volume." Yeah, I would like to see more of Atlas. Um, like I would like to see Mantle down below, and I'd like to
I
see
want
the
shopping.
city up above.
I want shopping arc, just a shopping episode.
Yeah, dude, that's one of my favorite episodes of Voltron is when they're at a mall shopping.
Mm.
But anyway, thank you
Okay.
everyone, and I will boop you next time. Bye.